In this video we have a quick look on how to extend our traditional modeling tools in edit mode with the sculpting tools. So I modeled this tin can here using traditional modeling techniques. Well, can you say traditional modeling techniques when it's done digitally? Why not? Anyway, when I switch over to edit mode, you can see it has a quite clean mesh, and I also used some modifiers over here. On the one hand, the solidify modifier to add thickness to a flat surface, and the bevel modifier to add this nice beveled edge here. However, when we think on the traditional modeling tools here in edit mode and then thinking about the sculpt mode, we think that these are two completely separate areas which can't be combined, but they can. Let's switch back to edit mode, and in edit mode most of the tools are not really meant for organic deforming the mesh. We do have the proportional editing up here. Let's enable this. Let's go to vertex selection and select a bunch of vertices, and now if I press G to move this around, you can see we have this radius which we can either change by scrolling the mouse wheel, or when using a graphics tablet you can press page up and down to make it bigger or smaller. And then you can see there's a radius around the selection which will deform the mesh organically. However, it's not that quick to use because you always have to select the vertices which you want to deform. However, if we now switch over to sculpt mode and let's quickly enable the wireframe here, and maybe let's disable bevel for a second, and let's switch over to the grab brush, we can see that this little yellow dot is always snapping to the vertices. That means we can easily grab some of these vertices and move them around. So the sculpting tools can be used to complement the tools in edit mode. So we don't have to actually sculpt something like if we would have clay, for example. Let's enable the bevel modifier for a second and let's disable the wireframe once again. And now, for example, if we want to have a deformed tin can here, we just can go in here and quickly grab the geometry and deform it. And we don't always need to select the different vertices. We just can grab the geometry and move it around. And of course we can also use all other brushes. We can use the draw sharp brush and deform the geometry here, add a crease for example, make this look a bit more interesting. Let's pull this down here a bit, and maybe let's switch over to the lid here, and maybe even let's use the pose brush. Let's go to the settings here and disable connected only, so we can also move this little handle thing here around, and then we can move this up, bend this, something like this. I do think altering and changing the geometry like this in edit mode wouldn't be that easy. Yeah, and in this way you can quickly deform existing geometry in sculpt mode to complement the tools in edit mode. What's that?